What's up guys, this is AandAHobbies. I am Corey and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the new LEGO Haunted House. This set was slated to be released on June 1st, 2020, which is coming up in a couple days depending on when you're watching this video, and became available for purchase early for VIP members on May 20th, 2020. I made an order for it then. It has since been back ordered and now is currently out of stock on the LEGO website, so it'll be interesting to see when their stock becomes available again for this to purchase. It is an official LEGO set 10273, comes with 3,231 pieces and is recommended for ages 18 plus. Quick reminder, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, show your support. If you liked today's video, give it a big thumbs up and leave your comments down below. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this set, as it was one of my favorite ones I have ever built to date. So taking a look at the box, it is a monster. It is huge. Again, this is part of the Fairgrounds collection and is my very first Fairgrounds collection that I have. We have our LEGO logo in the bottom left hand corner. I believe they like to usually put it up here in the top left hand corner. Goes with all the other fairground rides that LEGO has made. They show the set in its closed position and some minifigures. You have a ghoul, looks like a ticket master or ride master guy, and a little lineup, people waiting to go into the ride. And it's recommended for ages 18 plus. Is official LEGO set 10273 and comes with 3,231 pieces. Taking a look at the top of the box, it's going to show you all the minifigures that you'll get with this set. Little skeleton, 2 ghosts. You actually get 2 of the ticket masters and 5 random people to come and enjoy the ride. So taking a look at the back of the box here, starting at the bottom, we'll find a gold band of greebling coming up into the set in its open position. And some of the details, you have a guy playing the organ down there with a ghost. You have some scared people coming in to enjoy the ride. The ride is the tower that goes all the way up to the top. You'll have your dimensions. Again, this thing is massive, massive, huge. How to operate your rides, what they actually do, and the motors you'll need if you wish to power this thing up and let it work all on its own. Also comes with a light brick. It is the first set that I've ever picked up that has a light brick. That was fun for me. And coming around to the side of the box here, you'll see the gold band greebling continues going up into one of the parts of the house, just showing some of the amazing detail up to the top of the tower and just how huge this thing is, with another LEGO logo there at the top. So the front of the box really resembles that of other 18 plus sets that LEGO has been releasing lately, like the LEGO Star Wars helmets and the UCS A-Wing, which are just basically straight black boxes. And this one being an amusement park, I don't know, you could have made the box a little more fun, but it's also a haunted house and you have some bats up there, and I realize like a haunted house is supposed to be dark, scary, mysterious. So I'm kind of on the fence on this one. It really makes the house pop off the box. Like, you really get a sense of the amount of beauty that's in this set, because they really, really did a good job. Speaking of the set, let's take a look at it, and then we'll take a look at the minifigures that come with it. Well, taking a look at the front of the model here in its closed position, we'll start down here at the bottom. There's a nice little graveyard scene with a little bat, a pumpkin that was added by the designer's son, I believe. He says so in the designer video. Nice little printed tombstone piece there coming up into some windows. The siding is just nicely polished. We have these little frog gargoyle type pieces that are up here on the top of the pillars coming up into the Manor von Baron sign. which also acts as the trigger for the light brick that's on the inside, which we'll get to in a little bit. Coming up to the peaks. And down here we have the doors for the entrance of the ride. We have these beautiful lanterns on the side. And we have this little wheel here on the side. And if we turn that, we get the open and close action on the doors, and they work just wonderfully, nice and smooth. Coming up, a lot of the same detailing, just gorgeous, gorgeous model. Coming up into the front of the tower here, you'll see the doors open, and I have the ride at the top right now, ready for them to take the plunge. Coming up to the top of the tower, it's massive. So just nothing left unfinished on the front of this thing. Beautiful to display just like that. There's so much more. Let's take a look at the back. Taking a look at the back of the set here, you're going to have most of the gear workings for the ride. These two tires, they're interesting. I'm going to get into that when we start talking more about the ride, but these serve a very, very important function in the whole thing. But all the back is definitely finished and very polished, looks like the rest of the model, but not as much kind of detail, because this is meant to be the function and the inner workings of the ride. And I have to say, it wasn't as complicated as I thought it would be in my mind for some reason. Going into it, I expected it to be like very complicated to put together, but it wasn't. It was very simple, and it works very simply, and it just adds to the amazement of LEGO and what they can accomplish with the things they've developed. So to get into the interior here, we're just going to hinge these two pieces open, and it reveals this incredibly detailed and complete interior of the set. Let's take a close-up. Every single one of these things in every single one of these compartments has a story behind it that you can find in the instruction manual as you're putting them together. It's amazing the amount of thought they put into every single piece that you find in here. So let's have a closer look at that. Alright, let's take a look at the interior a little more closely here. Over here on the bottom right, we have the interior of the doors that open and close, and it was mentioned to me by my wife that she would have liked to see those completely tiled off, that they're a little raw looking. I don't mind it so much, it being Lego, and it kind of, you get that look up here on the inside of the ceilings and stuff. So you have a beautiful little chandelier that's just kind of hanging there loosely. Coming up into the attic, we have the Forbidden Skeleton, who's hanging here from the rafters. It looks like he's been there for a little while. There's a backstory about him in the instruction manual. We have this nice little snake that's hanging out under the desk, and this little thing, though it may not look like much, is actually the altar of Alhazard, which also has a bit of a backstory in the instruction manual itself. Coming up the interior of the roof, we have a cobweb over here in an attic with a very busy attic space. On the right, we have the Golden Dingus. Again, you can find more in the instruction manual. And right beside that, we're going to find the box of junk, which you can find some minifigure legs in there and some other stuff that's maybe been in the attic for way too long. Right beside that, we have the Orb of Ogle. This little ghoul head in here, the green dome around it. It's an early mind control device that Von Baron thought it would be a good idea to keep around. Moving down further, we're going to have the Idol of Everest hanging from the wall here. It's one of the relics that Von Baron has picked up along the way. Coming down, we have the nice little cash register with some stacks of tickets. In there, you're going to find a control panel for the ride and a little lever in the back corner there to help control the ride. Up in the middle of the ride here, we have the head of the Sphinx, looted by Von Baron and built into the structure of the haunted house. Coming up into this other little attic space here, we're going to have this little digger-merdoo with a little gem inside, and they call that the Resonator. Again, some backstory, and I don't know if you can see it right back there. There's actually some explosives, some dynamite that Von Baron kept in there as an escape plan just in case the Sphinx head was cursed, so he could blow it up. Coming down here we have the obelisk of evil and the inscription. I don't know if it's some coded message, but it was attracted to Von Baron because it was the most evil inscription he's ever seen, apparently. Coming over here to the far left, we're going to have this organ. This is the organ of Katarina. It's just completely gorgeous. Like, how much better can you get, honestly? Printed tile pieces there for the keyboard. You have some foot pedal greebling down underneath, right up into the pipes and the candles. Truly a centerpiece in this entire model here. Hanging up on the walls there, we're going to have the heads of Anubis. Again, another trophy that Von Baron has gotten along the way. And coming up to the top, finally, we have the portrait of Samuel Von Baron. And with this portrait is one of the functions, if you remember the sign on the front side here, so when you hit the button, it does illuminate the portrait, revealing a cursed mummy behind there, which is really cool. These light bricks or something else. So all in all, I think they completely killed it on this interior design. Like I said, every single piece and every single section has a story behind it and is thought out and has a purpose, and it's just chocked full of detail in every single corner. So now we'll get into talking about the function of the ride that comes attached to this set, which is encompassing this entire middle tower. Okay, so the way this ride works is it's going to lift this basket all the way up to the top and then basically free fall it right back down to the bottom. There's a little crank mechanism back here, and if you crank this, lifts it right up to the very top. You can see it through the windows coming up the tower, and when it gets to the top, it will open the doors till it hits to a certain point, and down to the bottom she goes. And it's a rinse and repeat process. It works very well, but it did take a little bit of fidgeting around to get it to run smoothly. This is the function that you can hook up to the motors to get it to repeat itself over and over and over again, much like the roller coaster. Like I said, mine works very, very well, aside from having to tweak it, which I'm going to show you what I've done. So if you guys decide to pick up this set and you have the same kind of problems that I had, you know what to look for and kind of what to do to remedy the situation. So I'm going to flip this thing around and we'll take a look at the ride working from the back side. Okay, so here's the back side of the ride. You have this little crank wheel that controls these gears in here, which drives this main gear connected to this track up to the top, and these pieces here are what hooks your main basket. So that little bit of skipping there is when it passes by these two tires that are meant to slow the fall of the basket so it doesn't come crashing all the way down to the bottom. Now it works very, very well, and you can see these two main wheels, as I had mentioned earlier, their main function is to control the speed at which the basket can fall down to the bottom. They're basically energy absorption tires, for the lack of better terminology to describe it. And without them, if you take them off, what's going to happen is your basket will no longer land softly. It'll crash down to the bottom fairly hard. So pretty amazing that something as simple as adding these two tire pieces on like that can change the amount of energy displaced through the basket falling, but science is pretty amazing, I find. And these are the two things that I kind of had to play with when I actually got it all together and was first trying out the ride. I find if you push these in all the way, everything becomes a little too tight and the basket won't fall all the way down to the bottom. It'll get stuck about halfway up from the bottom, and it's very, very tight to get past these first couple wheels. As you can see, mine runs very smoothly with very limited skipping. So again, playing around with these two little wheels here is what you need to do to dial the thing in to get it to work properly. Over here you'll see another gear. This is where you'll hook up your power motor along with your battery pack if you want it to just run continuously in your Lego City or amusement park, if that's what you have. Sadly, all I have is this one right now, so it's not enough to make a Lego City, so I won't be investing in the motor just yet, but you never know what time will bring. Okay, so we'll just show you guys the little basket here that comes with the ride. You just have a little hook on the back, which hooks into a little bar piece in the back of the actual carrying basket there. Your minifigures can pop right in there, the safety bar down, got the little scary face going on, and you can just slide and lock them in there for the ride. If I just pop these two pieces off here real quick, I can show you the entire basket, which is finished very, very nicely. As you can see on all sides, it's all tiled off to try to make it as smooth as possible on every edge. You have these 4 carrying wheels and these 4 guiding pegs on either side, which when you're building this thing, you want to make sure your tower's relatively smooth on the inside, as smooth as you can get it, so that these little bits here don't catch on things like windowsills and that kind of stuff. And down here at the bottom you can see little bumpers to help cushion the fall. And along the sides here are the wheels that I was talking about that could get a little tight to pass by, that help cushion the fall of the basket falling. So we'll take a quick look at the minifigures here. They're nothing too crazy, so we won't spend a lot of time on them, but you get 2 of these ghost characters, meant to symbolize one of the stories in the instruction manual is Von Baron summons 2 friendly spirits, so I believe those to be the 2 friendly spirits. We have our ticket masters here, which they only show 1 on the top of the box and then the actual size one, but you actually get 2 of these guys. They're exactly identical. They don't come with any kind of a second face or anything, because that would just poke through and look weird, with nice printed top and standard black legs. You get 5 guests that are coming to ride the amusement park with this nice molded wheelchair piece with the 2 tires that works very, very well. You can plop him in or plop him out depending on whether you think he needs it or not. The funny thing about these 5 figures that I am right now completely destroying is only 3 of them have double-sided faces. These 2 have double-sided faces, and this one has a double-sided face, and these 2, they do not have double-sided faces, so I thought that was fairly interesting. This one I could see why, because they gave him the kind of extra printing on the face to show some sideburns down his face, but I believe the hairpiece probably would have covered it, but maybe made it look weird. Another interesting thing, again, these are kind of new sets to me, but all the minifigures are the yellow skin tone, not the new flesh tone that you'll see with most of the Star Wars minifigures. That was another interesting fact. But a good haul on minifigures in this set. So my final thoughts on this set was truly amazing. This thing retails for $299 here in Canada, and even with the 3,200 and some odd piece count, the value is undeniable. You can really see where you get your money. They did a really good job on the minifigures. The ride works perfectly, aside from a little tinkering. Everything is very clean, polished look. This thing is going to look awesome on display and will look great in anybody's Lego city or Lego amusement park that they're putting together. It's kind of busted open the door for a different interest for me. I had such fun time building it. Really enjoyed seeing it come together. And I'm super happy that I have it. So thanks again for watching, you guys. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Look forward to my speed build that's going to come up, because I recorded the entire build process of this set, and I'm going to be releasing the speed build on that later as a separate video. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you. We'll catch you on the next one. See ya.